afternoon, my name is Jeff Whiteman. I'm with Fluid Applied Roofing. I'm going to walk through today, I'm going to walk through the Graco 833 that we pick up, that we recommend for spraying all of our products. I'm going to start with checking fluids to ensure that the Graco has the proper fluids that it needs. Graco does ship these with the proper amount of hydraulic fluid. This is the hydraulic reservoir here. The crankcase reservoir for the oil for the Honda engines down here. So we want to make sure we check this. Typically they come full and ready to go, but I would recommend checking that. The3s from Graco will come with a filter assembly inside of the valve unit here. We're going to need to take this off. Take the outer filter off. It's just a press fit. The inner mount is threaded in to the top of the cap. And we'll go ahead and put this back on, and we will spray all of our product without that filter in the valve assembly. We recommend using 1/2-inch hose for all of our products applications. This fitting, as received from Graco, is going to need to be changed with a Graco 1/2 to a 1/2. We've got some of those, we'll get that switched over. So we've removed the fitting and replaced it with a 1/2 to 1/2 fitting inside of the valve assembly. That fitting that comes out, we're actually going to use that same fitting to reduce down from our 1/2-inch hose to our 3/8 hose. So we're going to go ahead and reuse that fitting. The other thing that's worth talking about on these fittings is, even though these are NPT male fittings, the design of these hoses is that there's a taper inside the fitting, and that's where the sealing action occurs. Is when you thread this in here, you do not need pipe thread, tape, or dope on the outside of the threads here, because as you tighten this down, it's actually using this taper inside of the fitting to act as the seal. That's where the seal occurs. I'm going to go ahead and just get these loosely put on. So we'll go ahead and just put it on loosely. I like to leave them a little bit loose, so when we start manipulating these around, we still get a little bit of that movement, because once we tighten it down, we don't get that move. Here's the other end of our 50-foot hose section. As you can see, I've already got the 1/2 to 1/2 adapter fitting inside of this end. This other end is going to accept the other 50 feet of hose that we're going to use for our demonstration today. Foot hose section. This fitting here, this Graco fitting, is designed to allow you to extend the hoses. Both of these are thread on like this, and we'll come back after we get everything laid out and tighten everything back up one more time. So here's my last fitting, the fitting I just took out of the machine. I'm going to use it in the 1/2-inch hose. And then here's the Graco 3/8 10-foot whip that has the 3/8 fitting on here. So I'm going to then use that fitting and install it on the end of our hoses. So like you said, you got a 3/8 whip that we use when spraying all of our product. We recommend. So I don't really care for that. Let me grab this gun. So I've got my other 50-foot hose section. This fitting here, this Graco fitting, is designed to allow you to extend the hoses. Both of these are thread on like this, and we'll come back after we get everything laid out and tighten everything back up one more time. Next on the Graco, on the 833, here's your on-off valve for the hydraulics. This will shut off the hydraulic pump, which is going to obviously transfer the product. This is our pressure valve adjustment. It does have a lock nut on it, so that when you get your pressure set where you want it, you turn it in to increase the pressure. Once you get the pressure set where you want it, you'll go ahead and run that down and put a hand tight on it to lock it. That way this machine vibrates quite a bit during the application while the engine's running, and you don't want your valve to move. Now we're ready to start the machine. Once we verified that the valve is off and the pressure is reduced to the minimum, it's safe to fire the machine. This is your on-off switch for your ignition kill. Switch that to the on position. This is your fuel shut off that will switch to the on position. This is our choke that we'll go ahead and open. This is the RPM. We're going to start it with the RPM at minimum engine speed.
Hi, I'm Sonny Arwood with Fluid Applied Roofing. I want to thank Jeff for running through that first part of how to unpackage a brand new Graco 833. We're getting ready to set up to start the priming and then the spraying process with this machine. First thing we want to do is make sure that we're using the Graco throat seal, and that goes right here at the hydraulic piston. So you'll put that in every time you're going to use the machine, just before you use it. That makes sure that the piston stays lubricated. Then we're going to go over, and you'll see that we've already wrapped this. This is just something we recommend. It's not something you have to do, but we wrap this so that we can keep the suction tube clean when you're starting to put it down on the material. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of heavy buildup of material. So we've got that cleaned up and ready. So first thing we'll do is put it into the water. And if you'll notice down here, there's a prime and there's a spray. You'll want to have it on prime when you start this machine. That'll have the water coming out of your prime tube, which is right here. We're going to have the hydraulics off in the off position, and we're going to make sure that your pressure is completely all the way turned off. This is on, this is off, so we want it at the lowest possible pressure. Now that we've got all the hoses connected, everything is ready, we've got the lubricant in, we've checked the oil, we've fueled up the machine, we're going to start it. Turn the choke off, turn the engine up a little bit.